What if pain isn't the problem, but actually the pathway back to you? You're listening to The Leadership Wound, From Pain to Permission. I'm Amanda Rohr, your host and founder of Authentically You, coaching for embodied spiritual living and leading. This is where we get honest about the real cost of leadership, the burnout, the pretending, the rejection, and the return to your authentic self. Because this isn't about performance, it's about permission. Welcome to the leader you've always been.
One of the greatest falsehoods leaders live under is this, that you can live one way and lead another. But you can't. Eventually, who you are in the inside will spill out into who you are on the outside. That's why unprocessed exhaustion, unnamed and unhealed wounds, or misalignment always catch up. Welcome back to The Leadership Wound. I'm Amanda Rohr, your host for today's conversation and founder of Authentically You, coaching for embodied spiritual living and leading. Today I want to start out with a question. Have you ever met someone who just exudes that they love what they do? Not long after the pandemic, my husband and I met with a financial counselor. We were about to make some big life decisions. You know, the ones like planning for your kids to go off to college, setting up financial portfolios, thinking about the future and retirement. It feels like a lifetime ago then. Back then, I still had kids at home, and now I'm an empty nester with 3 in college. But I'll never forget one of those early conversations we had with this financial planner. This person didn't just say the words that she loved her job. She exuded and embodied them. I love my job. It's a great fit, she said to me. You could just hear it in her tone of voice. You could see it in her presence. It was the way she carried herself throughout the entire meeting. I walked away thinking, I want that. I want to be able to say those words someday. And if she could have it, so could I. I didn't even have the language for what was stirring within me at that time, but I knew something deep inside said that's possible. That's what I long for. But here's the thing. Many leaders don't describe their work that way. They may say, I like my job, or I'm grateful for the work, or even I'm good at what I do, I think. But loving what you do, that feels out of reach, maybe impossible. And yet there's a big difference between liking what you do and loving what you do. Liking is surface level. It's about the tasks or people or projects that you have. But loving goes deeper. It's about the fit, the resonance, the alignment. It's about being able to say, this work lets me show up as a whole person. I didn't realize it at the time, but a recent follow-up conversation with that same person revealed something I didn't know at the time. She said the only reason she was able to give herself permission to structure her work around her unique wiring was that she was in a coaching relationship. She hadn't just stumbled into alignment. She had someone walking alongside of her, asking the right questions, helping her see her strengths and her unique makeup, and giving her the courage to live differently, to live and lead authentically. And the result? She didn't just like her job. She loved it because it fit her. But most importantly, giving herself permission. And to this day, she still says that. For her, alignment looked like shifting the hours she worked. But for someone else, it might look like taking calls while you're on a walk, or brainstorming while you're folding laundry, or doing meetings on the treadmill, or maybe sitting on your bed in your pajamas doing a podcast. I mean, this may or may not be me right now. When you give yourself permission to work and live the way you were created, the results are powerful. And this is what I mean when I say that my coaching is embodied spiritual living and leading coaching. Because it's about the living and the leading. Because who you are at home will always show up in how you lead. And who you are in leadership will always spill out into everyday life. You can't compartmentalize forever. It's spiritual too, because you are more than your body and more than your intellect. You are spirit, mind, and body. If you ignore the deepest part of yourself, you'll lead a fractured life. And it's embodied because what you believe isn't truly yours until you live it. Belief isn't just an idea in your head, it's how you show up in the world. If your beliefs don't shape your choices, your schedule, your relationships, then they're not integrated yet. Embodiment means integration. It means alignment. It means your living and your leading are flowing from the same center, your true, authentic self. One of the greatest falsehoods leaders live under is this, that you can live one way and lead another. But you can't. Eventually, who you are in the inside will spill out into who you are on the outside. That's why unprocessed exhaustion, unnamed and unhealed wounds, or misalignment always catch up. And usually it's your family and the closest friends who see it first. Real transformation happens when you're living and you're leading come back into partnership. They come back together when you begin to live and lead as an integrated whole. So over the next few weeks, we're going to lean into the areas that I see leaders often neglect. Not because they don't matter, but because when the pressure is high, these are the ones that first slip. And yet they quietly shape everything. The first one is renewal. Renewal is about stepping out of exhaustion and into rhythms that restore life to your soul. When renewal is neglected, those closest to you notice first, in your patience, in your joy, and even in your presence. Renewal matters because without it, leadership becomes heavy, bogged down, and without joy. God is always inviting us to come and to leave our heavy burdens at His feet. The second word is healing. Leadership leaves marks. We're human. We experience rejection, disappointment, betrayal. There's nothing wrong with us. We're human. And if wounds aren't named, they leak into every decision and every relationship. If we don't process them, they stay within us. But healing frees us to show up again whole. The third word is purpose. Purpose is about knowing why you do what you do. Not just liking your work, but loving it because it fits who you are. When purpose slips, leadership becomes performance-based. And when you reclaim it, leadership can again feel alive and joyful. The fourth word is alignment. Alignment means your inner life and your outer life match. They're a mirror of each other. When what you believe and how you live are in sync, there's freedom, there's abundance. And when they're not, the gap eventually begins to show. And lastly, the fifth word is community. Because leadership is often a lonely place when we try to carry it alone. Community means surrounding yourself with people who truly see you and walk with you. Without it, isolation can creep in. But with it, leadership becomes sustainable again. These 5 words, renewal, healing, purpose, alignment, and community, are where authentic living and leading meet. But when you neglect them, leadership begins to drain you and it's exhausting. But if you tend to them, leadership can become life-giving again. And here's the truth. You don't have to stay exhausted. Sometimes we just need to be able to see someone else living out what we also want to live out. And that's what happened for me. Seeing it in someone else allowed me to know it's possible. And friend, I want to tell you today, it is possible for you too. You don't have to hide from your wounds either. You're human. You can name them, you can process them, and you can heal from them. Because you don't have to compartmentalize your life and your leadership. You were created for more than that. You were created to live and lead authentically and to love what you do because it fits you. So let me leave you with this question. What if I said to you today, you could love what you do? You could fall again in love with the work you do. Over the next several weeks, we're going to unpack these 5 areas more deeply. But you don't have to wait until then to begin relieving the hidden costs of leadership or the pressures that you might be carrying right now. This is the work I do with leaders every day. And if you're ready to step out of exhaustion and into freedom, I'd love to walk with you. You can book your free 30-minute call today and start a conversation about how you can begin to live and lead authentically. And while you're on my website for that free call at authenticleadershipcollective.com, don't miss out on the free resources I've created just for you to start where you are at. I have a free morning meditation that will center you in God's presence. And I have a guide that names the 10 traps that keep leaders stuck and how to break free from them. They're designed to help you find renewal and clarity right now where you are. Thanks again for tuning in to The Leadership Wound. Until next time, lead like you.